adjustment, and just
Wait,
I'll make a recommendation from the floor to yield some time so I can hear it real quick.
but you know, we can't go into the agenda review
Till 6:30.
till 6:30.
Okay, so I
So,
believe
I mean, you gotta leave at 6:30. You know what?
You gotta leave at
what was
It's-
it, yeah, because what was the part where building and housing was supposed to be here? I thought they were supposed to be
Yeah,
here
they
for
were.
this portion.
It's just about the ticketing authority for the inspectors
Okay.
and how it can be upheld in the housing sector.
But since you gotta leave at 6:30, I have a problem with it right now. And then
Well, we could just do it off the record, and it just won't be official meeting.
I
See what she got to say.
dialogue. You can just tell me about it. This is unofficial. Okay.
I really
'Cause
can't
they
really
don't
tell
give
you
me
too much of
sunshine.
anything about it. It's just, as far as the ordinance itself, it's just building and housing would have to submit a complaint to the court, their paperwork to us.
Maybe the
whatever.
water record for you. It's just, they don't have a ticket book.
Oh, okay, so
So
they need to
I
order
would
something.
want them to have ticketing, so like almost like a citation, not just a write-up. The write-up is good, but the citation is as they're passing, and it be sanctioned under the housing component.
Okay.
And so it can be, a capious issued off of it if they don't show, failure to show, and, the streamlines of that process.
We would parallel what the officers do for marijuana.
Right, minor misdemeanors.
Yeah.
All right. That's really what I wanted to talk about.
Wait a
I
minute.
wanted everybody in on the introduction of what I was trying to introduce.
Excuse me, so do you have a schedule for it or not?
What do you mean, do I have a schedule
A
for it?
schedule for it?
What do you mean, like the fines and costs for it? You mean like
Yeah.
the fine and cost schedules? No, I do not.
Let's go,
Right
so
now,
we'll
we-
put it on there.
This is the first time this has been brought to me.
The Contracts and
Yeah.
Property Committee meeting is called to order. The time now is 6:22, Thursday, May 14th. Roll call, please.
Okay, Counselor Wheeler,
Present.
Counselor Baker,
Present.
Counselor Thomas Wilkinson, but she is not feeling well, she won't be here this evening.
All right, so we're on miscellaneous. We're just having some impromptu
Let the record reflect on here.
concerns. Let the record reflect that our
That you
two
have-
council
That
people
I'm in attendance.
joining Councilman Nathaniel Martin and Councilman Brandon King are also in attendance. The law director is also in attendance. We're now hearing from our miscellaneous for the clerk of administrative reports.
You have that in your packet. which you
So we were
requested.
talking about the building and housing compliance with the ticketing authority and the courts being involved. So we just wanted to, throw this out there on the table. So it's nothing formal, but just to, to query the certain departments that may be involved to make sure that we are taking a fast approach and a steadfast approach towards stabilizing our housing sector, and that involves code enforcement. So I wanted to speak to building and housing today. Of course, they are not in attendance, but as long as the law director is here to make sure that we can communicate that to them, that would be great. So anything from the courts aspect, we'll kind of funnel that to you guys. Is that
Okay, because basically, if you're looking for just doing a citation, just as
Yeah, because I don't know when the process is. Like when the officers write a ticket, they send a copy to you, or who do they?
Right, what they do, they log them in the police department, and then they bring them to us. We file them in, and then process them through our court management system, where it creates a case file for said case.
Okay.
And also, just note on the citation, you'll want to have like a court date for them as well. So that's where we'll play a part in as far as putting something together as far as the citation itself. So you'll know. So we'll have to create a docket for that.
The last time we did
So
that,
we'll talk to. I'm sorry. I'll talk to Judge about that to find out what open dates will be available for a docket or such.
the last time we did that, Baker was when the RTA ordinance passed 509.08, and then we created a specialized ticket book for them to issue
The reciprocity citations.
Yes, yes.
I was involved in that, okay. So this would be a, parallel action, just like the police run. So,
Right.
if
And
it's set
similar
up
to
the
what
same,
Mrs. Hemming just
right,
spoke
if it's set
about.
up the same, that would be great.
Okay.
I just want our
Now, we'll
code.
note, I'm sorry, I will note on that with the RTA, they actually go over to the police department and they enter that information into their database. So I guess that's something you'll have to speak to Building and Housing about, and coordinating with the police department in order, I guess, to have like a record of it. I don't know exactly what the database is, but they go over to, the RTA logs those tickets in some kind of way into the police officer's database as well.
Right, I don't know if we would want that done for building and housing, for some of the homeowners and some of the landlords and some of the people who be involved, the banks. I don't know if we would want their information logged into the police department database. So that's something that the council would have to consider. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I was just wondering, building and housing department had tickets before?
I think so, yeah.
A while back.
When I first came in 2007.
You sure? You ever seen tickets out of the building and housing department?
No,
She went on.
but I've been here since 2012, so I haven't seen it.
They wouldn't have done anything since the new administration.
Like, we'll get complaints in, we'll get like the, like prosecutors' ones and nothing as far as like a citation similar to what we receive from the police officers when they issue citations.
Okay. So this is not something that you can just go do. Definitely kind of do a research on it.
It would require major research on it, just as Ms. Simmons spoke. RTA currently is doing the same thing. It was like a pretty quick process.
I mean, so where'd you get the book from? Where'd you get the tickets?
We don't issue the books. They actually.
The RTA did it?
Yeah.
We had joint mutual reciprocity meetings and came up with different designs and chose.
Okay.
Just
How
for
long
that-
did that take?
Wheeler.
Just for the FYI, they used to have tickets and the old ones are still upstairs and I was in the building and housing. They used to issue them back in the day when it was like Inspector Duncan and was around.
Okay, so they had tickets in their schedules.
Okay, now you know.
We just have to go find that. You right know where that box is at?
That's Constable Wheeler.
All right, so the process of the individual being able to cite tickets, is there anything that the inspector has to do to have that authority? Is it sworn in or is it?
Well, the judge could swear them in. There's a spot for the deputy clerk or an authorized official to sign the file, and they would have to be sworn in by the judge.
Yeah, because one of and the reason why I raised this concern is because, you can drive down every street and see that there's something wrong somewhere. And if we don't start somewhere with the improvement of our community, and I realize the time, if we don't start somewhere, we're not being a benefit or, a help to our community. I mean, every surrounding community citates through their building, and they issue citations through their building and housing department. I can't understand, even if it was one inspector, I just can't understand why they don't have a book to cite when they see something. And of course, that is a revenue generating stream for both court and city.
Council, the way it's done now is we prepare the, if you want to call them citations or the summonses,
Right.
by typing them up and taking them down to the clerk's office. I guess a book would be more efficient.
I think a ticket is more of a, a direct thing you right off the back. I know that they have to come back and write it up and then get with you. They may have been told they were cited at the property or whatever, but I think that more or less something there.
Council, with all due respect, some of these homeowners are in California, Florida, Arkansas, Canada. We have them all over. So,
And that's my next statement. Now, does KPS get issued or a warrant block or a driver's license holder or something off of those?
we don't have their social security numbers.
But if we don't catch them, can't ticket people on the tax duplicate. So
Pardon?
can't the the house ever is sold or transferred, we do get paid?
Oh, that's a thought.
They can go on property tax.
That's right.
There's various methods of collection, that's beneath the purpose, but I really just want this process to be, invoked within our community.
I understand you're being proactive.
Yeah, I need it, and I think it would, not only boost our visibility out here, but it would also improve our community. Is that okay? I know you got it. Thank
Do
you.
you have any more questions?
Thank you
Shoot
so
me an
much.
email and I'll see if I'm available.
Okay.
What is the court does about Old Main? This property. I mean,
He's
you've been
kidding.
a few times.
Leave that man alone.
You get it.
You wanna answer that?
It's only obvious.
You wanna answer that?
Unfortunately, I do not have the answer to that question.
About 30 seconds.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being the one that showed up.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, let's move on to legislation, resolution 30-15, ma'am.
I put ordinance 15 on
I didn't see that.
It's right behind the,
It's not on my thing.
oh.
Resolution 30-15, please.
Okay, a resolution authorizing the mayor to expand the lease agreement with Dan Ray Construction LLC for the East Cleveland Waste Transfer Station located at 1650 Eddy Road, 1610, 1626 Eddy Road, and 1602 Eddy Road inclusive. East Cleveland, Ohio for site development that excludes excavation, demolition, and landscaping projects and declaring an emergency.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, could you step up, please? The council had a few concerns about this expansion request. So I wanted to for you to explain, why are you seeking this expansion, and if there's any monetary costs associated with it, or who did you set the agreement up with?
Well, we thought the expansion was necessary for us in order to facilitate some of the functions of the transfer station. The expansion will include our opening, I should say, of a new recycling center in that area. Also, we plan to move our offices to your city. So we thought that this would be an excellent opportunity for expansion as far as us first of all, moving our offices into your city, and then secondly, opening up a recycling facility that will be open to all the residents in the city of East Cleveland.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Wheeler.
I want to interject because I know that through discussion, they're going to be inquired about putting up a wall once you tear everything down by the firing range. Some beautification on that corner, a brick wall, not just a fence or something cheap, but something pretty decent to give it an upgrade. I thought that'd be a plus in the area as well.
Okay.
And he was open to that.
Right.
Okay.
After we tear down the existing building, we plan to landscape the area and also make and I have to say the fence that we plan on putting up, it's a masonry landscaping fence, which I think is, in my opinion, would be a real nice landscape.
So it kind of looks like what's on the
Site
freeway.
Yes.
Those boards.
Yes. So that's what people will see once they ride down Eddy Road. Once they, and I think it would be a good, it would be a nice, what should I call it, a landscaping idea for the city.
The curb appeal look better than City Hall.
That's the word I was looking for. Curb appeal, right.
Okay. One of the councilors raised some questions about the, are you paying for the expansion, the land that you are going to acquire, or you are looking at something pro bono because you're demoing certain structures on that land?
Well, yes and no. I guess it costs money to demolish the building. It costs money to put up the decorative fence. It costs money to do the landscaping. So I know that there's dollars and cents involved as far as that's concerned. And as far as the benefit to the city, as far as the pro bono part, I thought that it could be an even exchange. And what I mean by that is the city, we're paying currently for a property or a lease that we currently have with the city of East Cleveland. As far as the property is concerned, I know it's of some value. And we thought that we could offset the value with the work that we were doing for the city of East Cleveland. Now, the expense is $70,000. That's our guesstimate as far as doing the demolition to the building, doing the landscaping, and putting up the fence.
Do you have that number?
I'm sorry.
You have those numbers already crunched?
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
Wasn't,
Yes, sir.
wasn't part of the cost that there is asbestos inside the facility that need to be abated?
The demolition cost includes the asbestos survey as well. The asbestos survey is about $10,000. And you also have I don't know exactly what it was in the building, but there's a smokestack there. I want to call it a smokestack. That was part of the building. So that was an additional expense for us because we didn't anticipate taking it down. And also there is in the building itself a concrete foundation, and that's very expensive to take down. And actually it sticks up about a foot above street level. So that's why the demolition cost is so expensive as far as the building is concerned.
Okay, so what was up on that?
Right.
Councilman King?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Your original lease is for how many years?
Our original lease is for 5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
And how many months are you in that original
That's a trick question. I'm sorry. It's about since December
lease? Oh, okay.
of 2014.
About 6 months then. Right?
About 6 months, yeah. Yes.
And you invested for the first phase, I'm sorry, Councilman.
Councilman Wheeler?
On the first phase, you're spending how much on that?
$150,000.
And this addition now will be an additional 70,000 roughly,
Correct.
so about 210, 220.
So yes, we're investing a lot of money into the facility.
But you're not doing it because you're a nice guy. You're spending your money back.
Well, we're hoping the business will have a
Councilman
return.
King?
How many employees are you looking to bring over there with your offices?
Right now we have 3. When we open up the offices over there, we'll have approximately 12. I would say 12 to 15.
12, 15. And this add-on would just run concurrent with your present lease.
Correct.
So it will end at that 5 years.
Correct.
You know, I am actually not on the committee, but I am in favor of, or I would recommend that we give them the land. I don't know if this language in here with the money is needed, that we give them the land and make it run concurrent with the current lease. Breaking out the math, it seems to be a washout.
Thank you. I don't know if that's within our purview to zero out that.
for the nice purpose as well.
Go, Councilman.
For the nice purpose, just whether or not we should take it out of committee and move it forward to the council, right? So I would make a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion for that. I don't know if there's much that can be made.
It does.
I'd like to make a motion that we forward this to the, review for the council.
Your consensus that you want to see.
Yeah.
Nate, did you have anything?
I just want to encourage you, you currently with everything with your lease payments and all that.
Absolutely.
Okay, you feel bullish that you're going to be successful in this venture, Brother Jenkins?
Yes, sir.
You can go for it.
Appreciate it.
All right, do we have a survey as to how much the land costs? Do you know
Yes.
how much does it cost?
The land itself, how much
That
it
land
costs,
that you want, that you're looking at having?
the value of it.
Yes.
Our estimated value is between $25,000 and $30,000.
This is, you just attached the whole agreement. This is the old, doesn't have the,
Where you,
doesn't have,
and that just to assess that value based on the building property, the existing property that's on the land.
Compared to the
Okay.
size,
yeah, go ahead.
compared to the size of what you're leasing now, this is what, 50% the same size, 1/10, 1/6?
I would say it's about 1/6 of what we're leasing currently.
So it's a small portion.
Yes.
All right, I got it. Thank you. That goes all the way to Emily. Emily, that's cross street on the other side.
Oh, yes, yes. It goes to the railroad tracks, which is that street across, I think it is.
I didn't know,
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys applied for that as well.
Yes,
On the other side of the tracks?
not on the other side, just to the tracks. The building only
Oh,
goes up
okay.
to the tracks.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm just saying that.
But Emily is on the other
board,
side.
right, I'm just saying
And
that's the
then East
board.
Cleveland owns that
I
building,
think Hayden
too.
is right there, where the street, the building actually ends.
Uh-huh.
Right,
That's
on
it,
this side
going
of
up
the
under the bridge.
Right. Sorry about that.
I would like to come by and see,
I'm sorry?
I would like to come by and see the progress sometime soon.
Oh, no problem.
Mr. Jenkins, what's your cell number? How can you be reached?
216-780-2977.
780-2977.
Yes. My office number is 361
361
9292.
9292.
9292.
All right, thank you for that motion, Councilman Weaver. I'll let that decision rest within the council. Thank you for trying to bring economic development to East Cleveland.
Okay.
We'll see where it goes from there. Resolution 30-15 can appear on the agenda.
Thank you very
Refer
much.
to agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
All right,
Good
thank
day.
Resolution 31-15.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a lease with the East Cleveland Neighborhood Center for the premises located at 16100 Euclid Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, for a term beginning on June 14, 2015, and terminating July 25, 2015, for $1,200.
East Cleveland Neighborhood Center, is not present, but we've already discussed this.
That's the young lady, right?
Yes, so we are, you know, it's time sensitive, so we need to move forward with this. I would like to see resolution 31.
No, I got a question before you go.
Yes.
This is a lady that came before us that wants to do the summer thing here, right?
Correct.
Okay, so for the summer, or they moving their whole
6
they
weeks.
would move their
Summer,
whole
6
operation?
weeks.
Term beginning June 14th and terminating July 25th.
Okay,
Temporary use.
just for this year, right? This is
Summer.
this one, just for the June 14th to
Summer.
July 20th, just for the summer?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Resolution 31-15, I'll refer to agenda review consensus in my Madam Clerk, make sure 31-15 appears on the agenda review.
That's it?
1509. Why is this in the packet?
You sent me an email, put it in there.
I didn't understand, like, what's this story?
Oh, that's why I put it in there, you requested that many times.
All right, just wanted to briefly have some dialogue
That's all.
about this.
I'm
Yes.
miscellaneous.
Yeah, look at this. I don't know if you know, Councilman Wood, how much you had your eyes on this as the building and housing manager. But this vacant property registration, you know, this goes back to code enforcement. I think we just probably need to go and, you know, things that don't make sense or not feasible, I think we need to go in here and just to go through a fine-tooth comb one day. Is that okay with you guys? This vacant property registration, does it make sense for where we are right now?
This is the 450 or whatever that we charge every year.
Right.
They can,
Right.
you know,
Banks, you know, CMHA owns property, corporations, whatever.
I checked, I think, the Salina this year once. I'm correct, we brought in about $170,000.
Who did?
Good housing, brought in the registry about $170,000 this year.
Did he sleep?
All right, I don't have that. I would, you know, probably want the finance director, you can weigh in.
Well, yes, she does collect money regularly for this. I helped to, I wrote this legislation pursuant to a request from former Mayor Eric Brewer to try to get the various banks accountable for the properties that they were foreclosing upon, so that we could bring some revenue into the city rather than have the property just sit there. And I think probably some of the provisions are kind of convoluted, but you know, we did our best to try to make it as direct and understandable.
You know, again, this ordinance, you know, that was, you know, weighed in by former Mayor Brewer, wanted to begin to be more aggressive within our community. It's time out for just looking at structures and letting them sit there until we think about a demo process or some type of purchase process. We need to hold people accountable, and whatever means we can hold them accountable deals with the law. And I cannot sit here and allow our community to be haphazard and lack the thoroughness to enforce this ordinance. I just don't believe it's reaching its maximum potential. And I would love for it to reach its maximum potential. We have over possibly 2,000 still vacant structures. I mean, you know, it's being exaggerated probably, but it's close. Give a little, take a little. But I would love to see this ordinance, ordinance 15-09, really being enforced and really taking some effect on these slumlords. Yes, ma'am.
Chairman Baker, we would like the same thing. There is a glitch, however, in the enforcement of the ordinance because the banks have stopped taking title to the properties that they foreclose upon. And that means that the title is remaining in the foreclosed upon owner's name rather than one of the banks taking title. And so we are left with an impoverished original homeowner and a bank that has foreclosed upon. We had that situation yesterday. A person even went into bankruptcy to try to eliminate.
Avert this.
Yeah, but the bank wouldn't take title to it, it was discharged by the bankruptcy court, but because the bank wouldn't take title to the property, it remained in his name. And so he was back in court on yesterday with his lawyer, and now he's just kept.
So I know there is more than one outlet to skin a cat. More than one outlet. How do we get around to the banks that are more accountable?
Well, the judges have upheld the banks in not taking title, and that's our problem. They just let it stay in the original owner's name, and so we go after the original owner who was in foreclosure, and they usually don't have any more money than when they went into foreclosure. So it's something we definitely have to study.
May I ask a question?
Thank you, Councilman Will.
If, I mean, it may not be law now or legal now, but if a person's house is foreclosed on and they vacated that property,
Yes.
even though there's a mortgage that's associated with that property, can we install a type of law where in 90 days they write it over to the city and the bank don't take possession, the city can take possession and demolish?
Well, the thing is, that goes to land bank. That's a land bank decision, and that's what I understand they've been doing, deciding whether or not they wanted to take ownership. The city doesn't want all the properties because it doesn't have the resources itself to move the property.
All right. So, but I think he's saying the city should have reserved the choice to seize a property, but it should be within a certain window, a quick window, that allows the city to intercede before that property becomes vandalized, stripped, or whatever the case may be. My take on this thing is that after so long, East Cleveland and other communities that are struggling just like East Cleveland have become the brunt of the court's decisions, because this doesn't affect some of their communities. It affects our community, and they keep putting in monkey wrenches and little scapegoat situations to appease these banks, and it's just not working for these struggling communities. You allow these people to take out second mortgages on these houses, and yet they can't pay for it, and they allow it. And I just don't understand why East Cleveland has to suffer for negligence, I guess, on what I would say on the bank's part. If they could say, hey, we still have a weigh-in on the foreclosure process, then they should have a weigh-in on this payment process.
It is true, if I may.
Yes.
Councilman King. The federal government recognized this and charged them millions of dollars, but it was just a drop in the bucket to the trillions that they made during the heyday of these fraudulent mortgage activities. However, what we are doing after so long, like you said, the house is in more disrepair, and that's when we declare them public nuisances, and they go on the demolition list. And so that's right now our recourse, one of our recourses.
But this seizure process, I'm saying, is how fast is the seizure process? This process of us acquiring that property.
Well, like I said, an alternative is if it gets into such a state of disrepair where it's very unsightly and unsafe, we then declared a public nuisance and put it on the demolition list like we had, a couple weeks ago. That,
With respect to, East Cleveland in Shaker Heights, and I respect my community a whole lot, but in Shaker Heights and any other well-to-do community, your grass is over a certain height, that's a nuisance. I don't want us to be lackadaisical on that classification of nuisance. If something does not look right to our standard, as it relates to being a government that runs the housing and the buildings, I think that we need to be still less compassionate to somebody who walked away from a house as opposed to somebody who says, hey, my income is falling, I still want to remain a resident of this community. I can work with those people, but I can't work with somebody who stays in California or stays in Cincinnati or wherever they're staying at, and they just completely say that I've walked away from the situation, I stopped getting rent, it is what it is. I just can't deal with that. And I think that we need to tighten up on, our timeline or our time frame that we go after these people. We need to make it more tight. And if it needs to be more tight through legislation, and if we can just go and take a few pieces out of that and amend it or revise this, then so be it. If the banks are stop taking the titles, then we need to put more teeth in this or some other process in this. Councilman King.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. I wanted to kind of piggyback on Councilman Wheeler's question. You mentioned someone got evicted, or a bank took a house a couple weeks ago, but the bank wouldn't take the title.
Well, this was a couple of years ago.
Oh, this is a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the person went bankrupt. He thought that he had done everything that he needed to do. In bankruptcy court, his indebtedness was discharged, but then he finds out he gets a citation or summons from us. He has to come to court, and he didn't even know that he still owned the property.
So, what I would like to ask, let's say the bank forecloses on a house here in East Cleveland. The foreclosure goes to the county.
Yes,
Who evicts that person out of the house?
the bank, if they want to. Some people have stayed in there 7 years.
Yeah, but when you evict someone as a landlord,